Hi guys, it's me again, and today I am going to be showing you how I made a two-pocket weaved accordion booklet. So basically, I used some flyers from my college days where I had to do a fiber arts project, and I had a bunch of these flyers that I found in my basement, so I decided to make use of it. You can also do this using magazine pages. This is an 11 by 17 paper, and I'm basically cutting them in half, and then I'm going to be folding that in half again. So basically, if you take any kind of magazine page, just fold that in half. You can use paper, magazines, whatever you have available. And I'm not even using scissors or rulers because the edges don't have to be perfect. I am kind of making it easier to tear apart by squeezing with my fingernails the lines. And I'm going to do that a couple more times. So now that I have those sheets ready, cut in half, I'm going to take each sheet that I cut in half and fold them in half. But once I fold them in half, here you can see I am now folding the edges a quarter of the paper to the middle fold that I made. And this is so that when I begin the weaving process, the edges are not as brittle and easily able to tear. It makes it sturdier and thicker. So you can see here I folded the paper in half and then I quarter folded it to the middle fold, and I'm folding that again to make a long, sturdy strip. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below. But now I have to do that to every half page that I cut. Once you have all of your strips ready, you're going to take those strips and fold them in half. So you can see here I am showing you that you need to take every long strip and fold it in half. And this is important for when we start weaving so that we can secure the weave without any kind of glue or tape necessary. It's totally up to you if you want to use glue or tape, but you don't have to. Okay, so now that we have all our strips folded in half, we're going to start weaving it. We are going to take one strip and we're going to put it vertical, and then we're going to take another strip and put that horizontal in between the first vertical strip, so that way we can start weaving. So you see here I'm pulling and tugging and I can't take it apart. This is important because this is going to help us secure our weave. So the first vertical strip is on top. So the second strip we put is going to go under the horizontal strip. And this is because a weave is a process of being over, under, over, under. So if your first vertical strip is on top, the second vertical strip is going to go under the top of the horizontal strip. And this is going to make sense in a little bit, especially if you do it, because on the back it's going to be the opposite of what you see on top. So see here on the front it's over, under, and on the back it's under, over. So you're going to keep doing this for all your vertical strips, making sure that you have a pattern of either over, under, or under, over. So mine is over, under. So that third vertical strip is going to go over, and then the fourth vertical strip is going to go under. So we have over, under, over, and then that fourth one is going to go under. You want to make sure to leave the strips hanging out so that way you can fold it in. And I would actually recommend leaving enough to be able to fold them under 2 squares. Mine only folded under 1 square and it still worked, but I would have felt better if I had folded it over 2 squares so it could be more secured. So now you're going to lift up the entire weave and you're going to place the second horizontal strip under it so that the top part of that horizontal strip goes over the vertical strips, and you're going to start weaving that, making sure that you are paying attention to your pattern. The top part. So you can see here, since the bottom one was over and under, I believe, the second on top of that is going to be the opposite of it. So I just weaved it over under because the bottom one was under over, and then I turned it very carefully, and now I got to do the back to weave. So you can see here the first vertical strip was over, so the second vertical strip that we're weaving horizontally needs to go under, over, under, and over. I hope that makes sense. It's kind of hard for me to talk you through it, but if you do it, I think you're going to actually understand what I am talking about. So now we're going to have to secure these vertical strips. So you're going to actually cut the strip off that you don't need, because the strip underneath it, you're going to fold it over to secure your weave. So I'm taking that strip that we do need to secure it, and I'm going to fold it into the first weaved square. As you can see here, I'm just making sure that everything is secured and as tight as can be. And I'm going to now weave it or fold it into the first square. And this is really tricky, so key to this is being patient. You know, weaving is not an easy process, but if you are patient and forgiving with yourself, I promise you, you'll get it. So you can see here, I just folded it in, and I'm making sure to really press down and tighten that fold, and use my fingernails to kind of just make sure the fold is tight and snug. So now we're going to do that vertical part on top because we need to secure the weave. So I flipped it over because you're going to fold in the strips that you can tuck under a square. That's so you can secure it. So the strip that you can't tuck under the square, you need to actually cut off. So you can see here I had to flip it over because I'm going to cut that top horizontal strip so that I can fold in the bottom horizontal strip into the square, underneath the square. And now this one is actually a lot easier because we don't have the weave on top of it. So I can actually just lift up that vertical strip and fold it in nice and snug. Now you're going to repeat it until you are completely done weaving your book or your book cover. So I have finished weaving all my vertical and horizontal strips. Now I'm going to be securing those last edges. They should be your vertical edges, not your horizontal edges, because it's the top of your weave. You need to secure that as well, the same way you secured the side edges. And I do apologize if this is a little confusing. This is the first time that I'm actually doing this sort of tutorial where it's very detailed, but I really wanted to share this with you guys so that you could try it too. So I actually just removed one of my weaves because I realized I need enough to fold over, and I really want the top to be secured, so I'm going to try to fold them over one square. And if I had that fourth piece, that fourth horizontal piece, I wouldn't have been able to fold it underneath the square securely. So you can see here, I am just starting in the middle. I'm using the piece that I can fold under. That's really important. You gotta fold the pieces that you can fold under, and the pieces that you can't fold under, you just cut them off. So you see here, I can't fold that under, so I cut it off, but I can fold the back of it under to secure the weave. And so I'm gonna slightly press that so that it has a nice edge, and I'm going to very carefully with my finger open up the square a little bit so that I can tuck it in and fold it under. And you're going to do this with every piece remaining at the top. And remember to be patient and forgiving. I hadn't done this in such a long time. I remember doing this in college, and so I had to really slow down and talk myself through it as well. So you're going to do that now with the rest of the top remaining. Okay, so it should be all secured and very flat as it can be. I'm showing you here now how mine turned out, and I'm really happy with it, especially because I hadn't done this in a long time. So this is just one of the ones I did, and I showed you this one because it was an easier process. I also made 2 others using a much smaller vertical piece, which is a lot more detailed and a little bit longer to do. So I showed you how to do it using the thicker vertical pieces because it was slightly easier, but I made a total of 3 of these. And now I'm going to use these 3 woven pieces to make a 2-pocket accordion book. So this was just something that popped out of my head, and I thought it was a really cool idea. And in order to do this, you're now going to need your scissors, adhesive glue, some extra pieces of paper. I still had some of the flyers left that I made from college, which was a very good quality piece of paper. And you're also going to need some adhesive tape. Okay, so this is going to be a lot faster because I think it's a little bit easier to understand. Basically, I'm going to be making the pockets, the accordion pockets. So I am folding them in half so that I have the basis for my pocket, and I'm going to use the woven pieces to measure out the right sizes that I need. And once I have that figured out, I am going to cut down that piece of paper so that it is the right size for the woven pieces. And to make my pockets, I am actually just going to be making a tiny slit in the edges that I don't need and cutting off that extra top part so it's not redundant gluing, redundant gluing. And I'm going to fold the bottom part over to kind of make a pocket. You can also do this by gluing together the pieces of paper, but I've noticed that when I do that, the accordion pocket doesn't open as wide as it can, especially if you want to put a lot of things in it. So I did it this way so that way when you open the pocket, it's more flexible and you can open it a little bit better. So you can see here, this is what it looks like. Kind of just looks like a piece of paper with a hole in it. But if you use your adhesive glue now down the middle and fold it over and glued it, you have 2 pockets. Yay! So you're gonna keep doing that. Since it's a 2-pocket accordion book, I have obviously the pieces of paper for the bigger accordion book, and then I'm gonna do this the same way for the smaller accordion book that's going to be glued to the top of this bigger accordion book that I'm working on now. Alright, so I lost the footage for the smaller accordion book that I made, so I do apologize. I think I thought I was filming it and I wasn't. But you can see here I made the pockets for the big accordion book, and now I need to just glue them together. And this is where I'm going to use the adhesive tape because it's a lot more sturdier, and I think it will last longer in the long haul than just an adhesive tape that you can use like the rolling kind. So I just use this industrial adhesive tape, not the rolling kind, to just make some strips vertically on the bottom and the top of my woven pieces. And I'm going to just attach my accordion pockets as such. I feel like I don't really need to explain right now what's happening. It's pretty self-explanatory in the video. And there you have it. We have one accordion woven book. You guys, I can't believe I did this. It was really, really fun. So now that I have that together, now I'm going to show you the smaller accordion book that I made, which I thought I was filming how I made it, and I wasn't. So here is the smaller accordion book that I thought I had filmed and didn't. To make this one, I just folded the woven piece in half. So therefore you can see the bottom of that looks more like a book as opposed to the bigger piece where you can actually see the accordion pages. But that's okay, guys, because now we're going to glue this on top of our bigger accordion book. I feel like I keep saying the same words over and over again. I'm really sorry. I really hope that this is helpful. Like I said, this is the first time I'm actually doing something this detailed. So I'm just making sure that I'm happy with how it looks before I go ahead and use the adhesive tape to glue on. So I noticed that one of my woven pieces was a little bit longer than the other, so to just kind of balance that out, I used some adhesive tape to fold it over and make it more of an even overall book. And then to have a very secured way to tie this, especially if you're going to give it to somebody or put things in it, I used burlap string. And basically to make this secured tight, kind of like you would in an accordion pocket that you'd buy at a store, I used some tape and I taped it in between the inside of the woven piece and accordion page from the back, and then I took that string and wrapped it around to make sure it was long enough to tie, and then I took an extra string and I basically tied a knot on the back of the accordion book, so that it kind of looks like a T shape like you can see here. And that way, when somebody goes to tie it, you basically take the longer string and the two strings that come out from the side to tie it together and make a little beautiful knot. I'm sure there's probably another way that you could, tie this together. I thought about maybe using brackets, but I wanted to try something different. So I hope you really like this. If you did, please comment down below, like, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more of the things I make. Bye!